Time for science. What we're going to be doing today, we're going to be talking about life cycles. We've talked previously about life cycles, about the life cycle of plants. So we did look at that. Today, we're going to be thinking more about animal life cycles. So you actually have these pages to look at too. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead, pause the video, and pull up these reading pages. Okay, hopefully you pause the video and you have this. Besides the reading, you actually need a piece of paper. And you need something to draw with, okay? So you need some sort of paper and something to draw with. Because you are going to have to draw some life cycles today. I'm going to read the pages to you. And when I'm done, you are going to draw the life cycle of a frog, of a ladybug, of a turtle, and of a cheetah. Okay, so you're going to be thinking about those life cycles today. All right, let me go back to the beginning. Animal life cycles. Woo! Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. It's a huge word. We're going to talk about metamorphosis today, but we're going to study it more later this school year. When many animals begin their lives, they look like smaller versions of their parents. Puppies, for example, look like small dogs, and foals look like small horses. Other animals look different at different stages of life. Some animals change shape through a process called metamorphosis. Have any of you heard of metamorphosis before? Okay, maybe. Life cycle, frogs. Okay, actually, really quick. Metamorphosis, really, most insects and amphibians undergo or go through metamorphosis. So who has an amphibian for their vertebrate project? Okay, if you do, your animal might go through metamorphosis. So you're going to want to definitely learn this word, metamorphosis. Life cycle frogs. The frog is an amphibian that undergoes metamorphosis. Following the arrows in the diagram below to see the frog's life stages. Okay, so you see with this life cycle, it starts out as an egg, right? Goes through egg, and they're laid in water. Tadpole. Young frogs or tadpoles hatch like fish. They swim and breathe with gills. Then they become an adult. A tadpole starts to grow legs and lungs. Then it literally goes into this frog. So you can really see how its body changes so much. That's metamorphosis. Okay, so that's very different. So it starts out being born as an egg, and then it gets into an adult. And it looks very different at each stage. Next page, life cycle insects. Like amphibians, insects undergo metamorphosis. Insects start life as eggs. Hey, that's similar to the frog, yeah. They start life as eggs. The egg contains food that the young animal needs. When the young animal has grown enough, it hatches or breaks out of the egg. Then it goes through several stages. Eventually, it grows into an adult that can have its own young. That's pretty cool. So let's see the ladybug. For example, ladybug starts as an egg. Ooh, it turns into something called larva. Okay, ooh, it eats bugs and grows and grows. Then it turns into a pupa. The larva changes into a pupa. It forms a hard shell. Inside, it grows wings. And then finally, it's the ladybug that we know and recognize. It's an adult. So it goes to egg, and then larva, pupa, adult. A little bit different. Okay, now remember, on your own, after we read, you need to draw these life cycles. But for now, we're just reading the text. Okay, now the life cycles of reptiles, fish, birds. Who has either a reptile, a fish, or a bird for their vertebrate? Okay, so this is for you. Most reptiles, fish, and birds lay eggs. Hey, I'm seeing a trend here. When these eggs hatch, the babies look like small versions of their parents. This means they do not undergo metamorphosis. Reptiles, fish, and birds have similar life cycles, but there are some differences. Birds lay eggs in nest. Fish lay eggs in Water. And reptiles lay eggs on land. Yeah. Most birds look after their young, but most fish and reptiles do not. So they don't actually look after their babies. Nope. A good example of the life cycle that reptiles, fish, and birds go through is the turtle. Look closely at the stages shown in the diagram below. Okay, life cycle of a turtle. Egg, okay, right? So that's a similarity. They all start as eggs. And then they're young. They look like little babies. They are baby turtles, right? They're young. They almost look like the adult. And then they're an adult. They're big. They're fully grown. Okay. And then do you see the life cycle? It doesn't just stop at the adult. It actually goes back to the egg. Because when you are a male and a female adult, you can have an egg together. And that's called, we're going to learn later, reproduction. I think we heard that word when we learned about plants as well. Interesting. Next page, life cycles, mammals. Who are my mammal people? Yeah, several mammal people out there. Like reptiles, fish, and birds, young mammals look a lot like their parents. This similarity means they do not undergo metamorphosis. Most mammals are born live. They do not hatch from eggs. Many young mammals are weak and slow. They cannot find their own food. They need their parents in order to survive. Kind of sounds like me when I was a baby. I could not find my own food when I was a baby. Mammal parents teach their young important lessons. For example, lion parents teach their cubs how to hunt. Deer parents teach their fawns to run away from danger. Okay, so you can look at the life cycle of a cheetah. Okay, so this time is different. Mammals do not lay eggs. They give birth to live young. But there is an egg put inside of the mom. So actually, they do actually start from an egg. Life cycles of cheetah. Cub. Most female cheetahs have 3 to 5 cubs at one time, at once. They protect and feed the cub. Young. Cheetahs learn and practice the skills they will need to hunt. Okay. Adult. Cheetahs grow big and can reproduce. That means to make more of the same kind, of their own kind. Adults are as fast as a car on a highway. Okay, so that's why it goes back to the cubs, because actually with all of these groups, with the mammal, reptiles, fish, birds, with the insects, and also, wow, with the frogs, and come to think of it, even the plants really, all of them can reproduce if there is a male and a female part that come together, right? And then they can reproduce. It's pretty much similar for animals and then even plants. Although for animals, it is a little bit different than plants. Okay, so what we just talked about is animal reproduction. The life cycle of every animal includes reproduction. This is when parent animals make offspring. That's like babies, right? One parent. Some simple invertebrates reproduce by budding. A bud forms on the adult's body. After the bud breaks off, it grows into an adult. Sea stars can reproduce by regeneration. This process occurs when a whole animal develops from just a part of the original animal. Both budding and regeneration produce copies of the parent. These copies have exactly the same characteristics or traits as the parent. Okay, so one parent, that's only for something like an invertebrate. Some invertebrates, you only need one parent to make more or to reproduce. Although the rest of the world is normally two parents. Another kind of reproduction requires cells from both a male and a female parent. So you need parts from a male and a female parent to make the baby. When the female and male cells join, offspring are produced. This new offspring has traits from both its parents. It's not identical to either parent. Fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals reproduce with two parents. Okay, so you can even think about us. Have you ever been told that maybe you have characteristics or traits of your parents? Maybe you look a little bit like them? Okay, so if you've ever been told, hey, you kind of look like your mom, or you kind of look like your dad, or you do this like your mom, or this like your dad, you have the same traits. Okay, we are going to stop there for now. At this time, you can go back and you need to draw and you need to make sure you label and write the words. You need to write the words, actually. It's important. You need to write the words for the cheetah life cycle, turtle life cycle, ladybug, and frog life cycle. And then submit it on Class Dojo portfolio.